Hello and welcome to a new snapshot video. The first snapshot for 1.10 is here and it has come around quick. We are in 16w20a and there are already, even for a first snapshot, so many awesome changes and additions. So we're going to go through those today in this short video. The first ones are these four in front of me, and these are four new blocks. Now, these ones don't actually spawn in the nether, but I figured we'd come here to show you these guys, so we may as well add the new blocks in here. The first one we have is this guy. Oh, in fact, let me show you this first. So this is something you may notice. This is on by default if anybody decides to give this snapshot a go. You now have auto jump, a lot like Pocket Edition, I believe. So if I walk towards this, and I will not press space, but if I walk towards this, I will just jump up. And that will happen on all one high blocks. Now, if you want to turn this off, as I imagine a lot of people are going to, controls auto jump right here. You just turn it off. It'll be on by default, but you can do that. Something to note as well, and I imagine this will probably affect the Elytra or just anybody who's playing this. It does count as a jump. So obviously, normally if I want to fly, I need to double tap space and I'll fly. But if I time it right, I can just press space once and I shall start flying. Like that. So I imagine that will affect the Elytra because I think you have to press space to activate it or something. I'm not really sure, but you guys will figure that out. So the first block to look at is the red nether brick, which is this guy right here, and it looks awesome. We needed some more red blocks in this game, especially building blocks, so I'm very, very happy about that. So of course, these blocks are craftable, and it's fairly straightforward. You just need some nether warts and some nether bricks, and you place them in this arrangement here, and that will give you one red nether brick. Awesome. The second one is this guy here, which is really, really exciting. Already really great things are showing up all over YouTube about this guy. This is the magma block. Now this is craftable, I believe, by using 4 magma creams, such as this, in this pattern here, and that will give you 1 magma block. Now these guys give off a small amount of light, which I don't know if I'll be able to show you in here because we're not in the best biome. However, mobs can still spawn on these. Now it's worth noting that if, for example, there was a mob who spawned on these guys, they do take damage. And so already we're seeing awesome mob farms where it's just a big dark room with these on the bottom and then hopper carts going underneath, and that is going to kill the mobs and take the drops. Of course, this does damage the player as well, so you're gonna have to be a little bit careful of this, but it does not damage items if items are thrown on it. So it's really, really cool, and I'm really excited to see what comes of this. So next we have the nether wart block, and that is pretty much what you would think it is. It is a block made of nether warts, and that will be crafted as expected with 9 of these guys. And I believe you cannot turn these back into the nether warts, so consider that before you build them. In fact, I haven't checked these yet. Can you turn these back? No. So again, with your magmas, be a little bit careful. These maybe don't look so good, but I'm all for more blocks. Now, these guys right here are going to be some of my new favorite blocks. I have a feeling these are the bone blocks. And you will find these, I believe, underneath deserts mainly. You'll find these naturally spawning around the world. And these will be in formations. I'll try and find a picture and throw it on the screen. But they're like fossils. Now, one thing worth noting is that these are actually directional. So you'll see this bottom part here will face up or down depending on the way that we place the blocks. You can make yourself some really cool patterns out of these, a lot like tree trunks. So that's really, really awesome. Again, these are craftable, not just findable, and that is done by bone meal, surprisingly. I thought this might be actually just be bones, but no, it's bone meal. So they will turn into that, and these will actually turn back to bone meal. So that is an awesome way for you to store a large amount of it. One other thing to note as well, and I haven't found any of these, I have been looking for them, is that Endermen can now spawn in the nether, which is really, really cool. So, aside from new blocks, there are also some new mobs, and these guys are very exciting. Alongside that though, we have got some other really cool things. For those of you who've been watching the tweets, Jeb tweeted about having a way to just summon cat and things like that. Well, I think this is what the result has been. We now have the Elder Guardian egg, a cat, donkey, mule, skeleton horse, and zombie horse eggs. So that's very, very awesome. But the 3 new guys are these guys here. We have the polar bear, the husk, and the stray. So the first one we shall look at is probably going to be my new favorite mob. Sorry, pig. That's this guy, the polar bear, who is very, very, very cool. No pun intended. These guys are actually quite tough. They are also, they can be quite aggressive. Now, normally these guys will be neutral. You'll see we're in survival mode here. This guy doesn't mind. If I hit him, he'll come after me and he will do something. However, when there's a baby around, he will get kind of angry and go after you. And that's when he will do some serious 3 hearts of damage. Please don't kill me because I want to show you something quite amusing as well. There's currently a bug in the game where if you change game mode, if I can do this. Yep, if you change game mode just as he attacks you, he will actually get kind of stuck like this. But yeah, these guys will naturally spawn in cold biomes, particularly the ice biomes. And they will also drop fish and salmon upon being killed. Alongside those guys, we have 2 new hostile mobs, and that is the stray and the husk. The stray as well as polar bears will spawn in cold biomes, and they look something like this. Now these guys do burn up in the daytime, so let's see if we can save him here. Maybe it's too late for this guy. It looks like it possibly is. Sorry, pal. I'm very sorry. These guys will drop arrows and bones upon death, and from looking at the code, they will also drop slowness arrows. However, it seems that will only happen if they're killed by a player, so that's something to note. But these guys are very, very, very cool. They look a lot like skeletons, they act a lot like skeletons. They might as well be skeletons that just look a hell of a lot cooler. It's worth noting as well that this stuff around them here that they're wearing is not any kind of armor, it's just there for looks. And their bow, of course, they drop slowness arrows because they will actually give you the slow effect if they hit you with one. And so the next mob to show you will be the husk. These guys are a lot like zombies, and these guys will spawn in the dry desert biomes and things like that. Again, these guys are a lot like zombies because, well, they are a lot like zombies. The only difference being with these guys is, of course, the look, and they will actually give you 13 seconds of hunger when they hit you. So that's going to be quite a challenge. These guys, however, won't burn up in the daytime, sorry. Unlike the strays. So next thing to show you for the second time is the structure blocks. I played around with this just a minute ago and actually managed to break Mince Raft, which somehow completely corrupted my recording. So we have these 2 guys here, and these do a few awesome things. I'm going to be very honest, I'm not 100% sure on these just yet, but I will show you to the best of my knowledge. You have to give them to yourself using the commands that we just used, and then these will do a few things. So you have a custom data tag name, not very sure just yet, but you have this section here, and this is how you would save your structure. So for example, if we build ourselves, let's actually change that so we can see the invisible blocks. Let's set our structure size to 5 by 5 by 5. Don't set it to 500, that's how I managed to blow everything up. So if we build ourselves this absolute masterpiece in here and go into here, we can name this and save this. And this is now saved into a folder inside of your .minecraft folder. So you can copy and share these as you like. We can then grab ourselves one of these blocks, go and place it over here. And we can then go to the load section where we can load the structure test.1. This is where I've had a few problems. You can set the direction, you can spin this around, you can do lots of different things, you can rotate it however you like, hit load, and no, it's gone blank. This is the problem I was having where, there we go, that one's come up. And you can bring in your own structure. So, I mean, you can already see the sort of things you'll be able to do with this. 500 by 500 didn't work, it broke everything, but if you had a massive build that you wanted to copy and paste or just share with a friend, this would be an awesome way to do so. So you also have these structure void blocks. Now I believe, again to my best understanding, that these blocks here are going to be the air blocks, and you will also have these structure void blocks which you can replace, which will turn these ones red, and I believe wherever you place yourself a structure like this, anywhere where you have these red blocks, it will not count as part of the structure. So for example, if we pasted it all the way down here, anywhere you have those red blocks, it will say this isn't part of the structure, just use whatever's there originally, and then the air blocks will be air. Alright, so the last few changes have a lot to do with gravity. The first one is to do with these sand blocks. Now, this is kind of hard to see, and I'm not sure the best way to just demonstrate this, but there is now a new particle that will fall out of these things as they're above you. So, for example, how water will do, we'll just keep spawning them and hopefully eventually you'll see one. But it's a little snowflake-like particle, there you go, that'll fall out from underneath them. Extremely minor change, but a change nonetheless. And last but not least is this little tag we have here, which is the no gravity tag. So if I go ahead and spawn this guy, we've got a floating friend. And he is just as normal, but he doesn't have any sort of gravity. So he will just kind of hover around and go wherever. But there you go. That is going to wrap up this episode. There are a few more changes which I haven't mentioned, which I'll quickly tell you about now. And that is, one of them is villages. So the changes with villages are as follows. The wooden planks will now be placed across rivers so that they will build bridges instead of having those weird gaps. Gravel has been replaced with path blocks, which we saw introduced for 1.9. And there are also a few more new styles of villages. So for example, in the taiga biome, you will have a different style, and in the savanna biome, there will also be a different style optimizing the acacia wood. And last but not least, in a mesa biome, you will now be able to find the mine shafts above ground. These will spawn inside of the mountains, and they will spawn gold at any level, which is kind of awesome. However, for some reason I don't have my skin. That is going to be the end of this snapshot video. Of course, if you are just as excited as I am, please do go ahead, leave a like, leave some comments, let me know what you're looking forward to, and shout at me about what I've probably missed from this snapshot. As always, there's always one or two things that slip by. But yeah, I do want to thank you very much for watching. If you're looking forward to some more of this, then please do go ahead and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.